Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? This is Skull Drawings. This channel's dedicated to drawing tattoos and skulls, things of that sort. Mostly tattoos now, because skulls, there's only so many ways you can draw a skull, but there is many different ideas. Right now I'm going to go over a little bit of the basics of kind of drawing certain tribal tattoos and kind of like how to handle that. I'm not going to teach you how to draw any one specific tribal tattoo within this tutorial, but I am going to teach you kind of how you would handle it and just some tips, some general tips on how to do that. I'm going to be using this Pentel ink pen. It is just an ink pen. It doesn't matter what you do this in. It really doesn't. Like, it really doesn't. You can do this in digital. You can do this in any kind of pen. You can do this in ballpoint pen. Doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go over a couple of tips. I'm doing the tribal aspect one. So first things first is it's not tribal tattoos. They're not, you know, per se shaded. They are graphic images. You know, shaded would be something like things with a gradated edge, for example. And I'm going to show you that with this ballpoint pen. You talk about like something that goes from dark, you know what I mean, into kind of a light. It rolls into the light, you know what I mean? And that's more like paintings. That's more like, I mean, that's more like oil paintings. That's more like, you know, kind of Photoshop with Photoshop with a gradated brush. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about pencil drawings. That is gradation, right? We're talking about graphic images for tribal tattoos. The graphicness would be something like, there is no shade. It is, boom. It is a complete, that edge is sharp. That edge is completely sharp, meaning it is what it is. Like signs, you know, billboards, they have this, you know, like a stop sign. Any of that, that is completely sharp, that edge, and you're trying to portray something with this sharp edge. So that's the first thing I learned with tribal tattoos. Is kind of all that. Another thing I want to kind of like instill in you would be when you're doing, let's say, like any kind of pattern within, let's say, that tribal way, or anything like that solid. It's pretty cool to do this, but you're going to have to keep track of how repetitive your shapes are, because that can kind of hinder you. So if we have a shape like this, and it depends what purpose it is, right? If that's like a claw, that makes sense. But if it's like a fire, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, because it's not... Even though we are dealing with mechanical style shapes, we are... hold on, let me see if it's focused. Yeah, it's focused. Even though we are dealing with mechanical style shapes, you want to vary it up in a slightly organic manner. Meaning, you don't want shapes to be too repetitive, if that makes any sense at all. See how this looks like 1, 2, 3? That could be like a claw, let's say, but if that was a flame, it wouldn't be great. And people have that tendency to do that. People have a massive tendency to do that. So that's why I kind of want to point it out to you, the don't be repetitive kind of thing. Don't be too repetitive within your patterns, within your design language. Like I said, I've seen people draw fire like that. They're too similar. It just looks like three snakes, three almost identical snakes. And right here, you can see kind of varied a little bit. You can see it varied a little bit. So you kind of have this kind of, see right here, they're all the same thickness as well for the most part. This one, you have this thickness, you have this, and you have a small one. You have a big one, small, and medium. This does play into the whole design kind of aspect to it as well. Also, one last tip for this, for certain, you know, how to draw, you know, kind of ways to think about tribal tattoos. Obviously, we'll go over designing them entirely later. A good way to show highlight would be something solid as well. So if you're to draw like shine, you draw a hole in there. Keep everything kind of solid. But shine, for example, like reflected light, let's say if that was like an eyeball, a really dark eyeball, and there's like reflected light coming from it, that reflected light is the same as a negative space. So they kind of become interchangeable, so you have to be a little bit careful about that. But I would say, as far as seeing them kind of isolated, there's a negative space would be like a hole. That's negative space. So like, let's say that's Swiss cheese, or I don't know what that is. But depending on how you use them, they will, kind of read as different things. And that I'll go over in a very specific tattoo situation. But right now, if you look at this, see, I'm thinking this is a hole, this is a highlight. They look almost exactly the same. The way you differentiate them is how you use them. Is this like a wing? Is this like an olive or something like that? But anyways, those are a few tips on kind of drawing tribal tattoos. I think that's a really good for like somebody who just kind of started to kind of wanting to design them. And there will be more tips. These are just some to kind of start off, kind of your idea how to do that. So anyways, thanks a lot, guys. You can use any marker you want. Use any kind of tool, honestly. It'd be fine. I would prefer that, if you guys start doing that, do it with something very like I said, fountain type pen. Like this. You can use a ballpoint like this, but it's just going to take a lot longer to fill in. So anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. If not, let me know what other kind of things you want to learn. I'm going to change the direction of this channel to make it more learning, really push the learning based on this channel. But I need your help. I need you guys to tell me. Also, thumbs up the video if you like this style of teaching, and I'll see you soon, guys.